Hello everyone, it's me Luigi and welcome to the Stratus Network. There is so much I want to talk about right now, I actually don't even know where to start. So I guess I'll begin with explaining a little bit about what Stratus is. In case you don't know, OCN or Lifeboat PC, whatever you want to call it now, has shut down for quite a few months, and this is a PGM clone server. It uses the PGM plugin, and it basically runs similar to how OCN ran when it was up. But let's hop into a game, and I will talk about, I guess, the journey and how we got here. Sounds a little bit cheesy, but I don't know how else to start this, so let's just hop into a game and start playing. So right now we are here playing Rooted by Rocky Mine. This is a two-teamed CTW map. It's not necessarily a new map, at least not in Stratus standards, but it was never in the OCN repo. It might have been in the repo, but it was never actually played in rotations, I should say. It is Deep Wind, Jungle, and the rotations Deep Wind Redux is, which is a slightly edited version. If you don't know what that star is, that means internet famous. I think he has like 10k subs. Cocktelk is his name. He actually made a couple of videos on here, which is pretty cool. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Stratus and what's happening. I'm going to be defending a little bit at the beginning of this match, because defending takes a lot less energy for me to commentate over, I guess you could say. Or not really, not a lot less energy, just I don't need to focus as much when I'm defending and than when I'm attacking. So I guess the first thing to talk about, because the last video that I made, or at least the last commentary video I made, was the Overcast still. Or it was Lifeboat technically, but I called it Overcast. It was the Overcast finale. We played on like all of the old maps. And I said that I'd be waiting a little bit to see how things went with Hampton. Or not Hampton, with Lifeboat PC. That's another story that I'll talk about a little bit later on. But I just want to talk a little bit about what happened with Lifeboat and OCN. So OCN shut down, or it was announcing they were going to shut down sometime in, I think it was August last year. So it's almost been a full year since the announcement came out. And then since then, Lifeboat PC but they bought out OCN. They bought the plugin and basically like all of the staff and everything. Well, they didn't really buy the staff because we're volunteers. But we kind of migrated to Lifeboat once they had everything bought or purchased. So what ended up happening there is that they just didn't really know what they were doing. They are really successful on PE. I think they had like 50,000 players concurrent. So that's a crazy amount. We have a full match right now, which is really nice considering it's the middle of the day. But they didn't really, they knew how to run a business, I guess you could say, but they didn't know how to run a community, which is basically what OCN was at that point. It wasn't really too big. It wasn't a corporation or anything like that. And things just didn't work out the way they wanted. The person in charge, Rain Tedder, I think his name was, he didn't really, it seems like he didn't really care too much about the server. He popped in occasionally. The one thing he mentioned to us is how he wanted, or his goal was to get 5,000 players by Christmas. And that kind of turned into a meme for obvious reasons. It is crazy to expect a server that was getting like 250, 300 players average to get 5,000 players out of the blue. So I'm not too sure. I don't know if he actually expected that, or he was just putting like expectations and goals really high to try and get the staff to work harder. But either way, that kind of fell out. The network kind of just died off. Not really much happened. And I just kind of got destroyed by that guy. So there goes my efficiency pick and shovel. That kind of sucks a little bit. And it says that I spleefed myself out of the world for some reason. I think the game is done here. So that's fun. Well, guess we're going to be playing another map now. It can't be PGM without matches lasting less than 3 minutes. Or I guess a little bit more than 3 minutes in this point. But case still stands that this is kind of a short match. And you know what? I've been commentating, so I'm just going to continue commentating instead of cutting off this next match until the match actually starts. So I could flow through the commentary a little bit better or keep my commentary flowing instead of chopping it up like I usually did in my older videos. So this is an actual new map, even to Stratus. It's called, I was gonna say Harb for some reason. It's called Harbor. I guess there's a reason why I almost called it Harb, is because the name Harb is literally in the name. But this is a 1-core DTC map. This is the only objective for it, so it doesn't usually take too long. Hopefully it lasts a little bit longer this time, just for the sake of this video. But let's go back to, oh, there's diamond on this map. I haven't really played this before, so I'm not too sure about everything. So what happened with the Lifeboat is that they decided to close down because they were hemorrhaging money, I'm pretty sure. They didn't even have donations open or anything. They had no shop, nothing for the, I think it was like 6 or 7 months that they were up. So throughout that whole time, they were, I guess, using, I don't know how everything worked. I don't know if they were using like the old OCN funds, because I'm pretty sure that OCN wasn't completely dried out by the time they closed down, or if they used their, like, out of their own pocket. But either way, it didn't really work out too well at all, and they shut down, or the plan was to shut down at the end of January. So I think it was like January 28th or 29th, or no, I think it was the last day of January. I think it was the 30th. And what ended up happening is that the server closed down way before then. And by way before then, I'm exaggerating slightly. It closed down, I think the 28th or 27th. I don't know. It was 2 days before. We got no notice. The boxes just went down, and that was the end. But while that was going on, Shiny and me and a few other people were discussing, I guess you could say, how to keep Project Ares OCN PGM alive. So during that time, what our plan was to get a Cardinal 1.7 server out as soon as the server closed, or like right before the server closed. We would announce it and hopefully get the I thought I was going to fall there. And hopefully get the majority of players to actually play on the server. But of course, because the server closed without any sort of announcement or anything like that, it just came out of the blue, we did not have the chance to do that. So as soon as Lifeboat closed, we had a server up, but nobody really joined because of that. There was no announcement. There was really nowhere we could advertise besides the PGM Discord. So that was kind of sucky. Of course, a few days later, we were thankfully able to get the actual plugin PGM because it was open sourced by Lifeboat. So if anything's to take away from this, at least we could thank them for actually making PGM open source. Because of that, we were able to, I guess, keep OCN alive. I don't know what would have happened if we ended up using Cardinal 1.7. But the Discord that we actually made was created on January 22nd. I'm going to try and do like a little bit of a timeline in this video, just describe everything that's happened over the past January, February, 6 months, 7 months now almost. So there's quite a bit to talk about, which is why I'm going to try and cover everything. This might become a two-parter. Hey, we won without me doing actually anything at all. Again, another 3-minute match. Usually these matches last a little bit, like rooted usually stalemates, but I guess there's not too many people defending on right now. So let's get back to the topic though, which is that, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Discord was created on the 22nd, and PGM started testing on the 30th. So it was a couple of days after the server actually closed. I do not remember this being here, but I guess it is, and we spawn with iron now. So we were able to start testing out PGM. That was also when we announced the Stratus network, I guess you could say. It was like officially Stratus. We didn't have an IP anything. We didn't even have a rotation yet. And when we announced the network, I think there was like an average of like 10 players at max playing at a time. We were extremely small, and it's really difficult to start up a server, believe it or not. Even though we already had the baseline for a community, it was really hard to advertise to those players that didn't really know too much about what was happening when it closed down. I'm actually going to play a little bit of offense this match because the past two matches haven't been the best in terms of gameplay. I think I've been like killing with the commentary though. I don't know if it was like my seventh month. As soon as I like commentate, or as soon as I mention my commentary and how good I'm doing, I completely butcher what I'm saying. So that's always great. But yeah, it's been 7 months since I've talked, and I already had a bucket, so I didn't need to make one. Well, that was a little bit of a waste of time, wasn't it? So yeah, the community was really hard to get together, but then Cubist, also known as, I was about to call him last username, but I guess he was now known as Cubist, even though I still call him last most of the time, released the OCN. It didn't release the website. Well, the website was also open source, but he released the, how do I describe it? He released, like, he posted the website, and you were allowed to advertise on that if you were running PGM. I'm just going to run because I'm completely getting destroyed here right now. Oh, okay. I guess I'm not going to run. Please don't kill me. Hey. It's cocktail again. Let's go ahead and eat these golden apples. It looks like I'm going to be able to make it into the wool room here because nobody's really defending. And the other guy who was chasing me kind of got a little bit distracted. So, I am in. Or I'm hopefully in. I once got killed like right before I was able to join. I just got knocked out of the world. And did I say I was able to join? I was able to get into the wool room, I should have said. But like I said, I'm getting slightly distracted here. So I'm going to try and get back on topic. Looking over to the side a little bit. Heart. I think he died because of me. Or not because of me, but he died protecting me, I guess you could say. So let's get back down here. If you're wondering why I sound a little bit different, for one thing, it's because I'm using the mic, and sometimes I turn sideways to look at my notepad to see what I want to talk about or what else I want to talk about. So right now we're on PGM testing. Oh yeah. So the website came up, and we got quite a few players from that actually. I think from 10 players when the website first was announced, we went up to like the 20, 25, 30 players on average. We still suffer the problem where at night we would hit 0 players for like 5 or 6 hours straight, which was extremely bad. If you don't have anybody to start playing, it's really difficult to get a match going. Not like, there's some servers where it doesn't matter how many players are on, but even when you have like 5 or 6 players, it's really hard to get more players on because they're like, why would I play a 3v3 on a match? So it was a little bit difficult at the beginning. But, let's see, 5, 10 players. I guess February 2nd is the next pretty big thing to talk about, was when we announced all of our social media and the staff. I didn't mention this, I'm about to die here. I didn't mention this yet, but I'm actually an admin. There's a bedrock block missing there for some reason. But I'm actually an admin on Stratus, along with Shiny Dialga and Amactus. I'm going to mention the rest later, but I'm just going in chronological order right now. So we were the first admins. Then we had a whole bunch of senior mods, which were the old OCN admins and senior mods. Some moderators that were part of OCN. Most of the staff that we got, of course, were from OCN. But since then, we've gotten quite a few new faces, I guess you could say. We placed yellow. Lime was this side, the one that we were running. And it's 4 minutes, so this is a longer match than what it was before. Nice. But I feel like it's going to end pretty soon. We've got a whole bunch of people in that other wooler room. Unless they were able to defend like hardcore, then there's almost no chance that they're going to be able to keep us off, unless they end up winning, which wouldn't be surprising. So after we announced our social media pages and our staff, I don't know why I decided to run straight into them. Don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Someone's still chasing me. Hopefully he'll get distracted by that other guy, and I could look at my notepad so I could see what I want to talk about. So February 4th is another big thing. At the very beginning, things were happening left and right, which isn't too surprising because the network just started and a whole bunch of things were happening. Let me get down from here and try and tunnel. I don't know how well this is going to work. I think I just heard him fall. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to help. Because this guy has the wool, I think. I guess I'm not going to... Oh, he doesn't have the wool. Nice. So we merged with Equinox Network on the 4th, which wasn't even really a network. It was a startup. It didn't even open up yet, though. But they were planning on being a PGM 1.7 server. We actually weren't at the time. I'm going to jump out of the world so that they don't get my stuff. Didn't fall into the void, but that still kind of worked. They didn't get my armor, so they won't be able to give it to someone who doesn't have any, which is a plus. So on the 4th, we merged with Equinox, which basically we just got we inherited most of their staff. which is when Taz became admin. We got Vice as a map dev, and I think Kyoel came as a... Was Kyoel a map dev? Was Vice even a map dev? That is illegal, I think. You may not use obsidian or lava. I don't know how I'm gonna drain this because that's definitely not legal. So I'm gonna do /drain. Oh, Darren. Drain 10. Oh, drain 10. Drain 10. Did I not reach it? Drain 10. I'll just get rid of the lava then, like that. Because that is not legal. So yeah, we merged with Equinox on the 4th, and I was gonna say nothing really came from that, but we got this, like, we didn't get any, we got people, but we didn't get any sort of, oh no, I guess we got Echo Cheat, which is a very basic anti-click, auto-click detector. So we did get a few things besides staff out of that merge, I guess, because it wasn't really merged, we kind of just like took them in. The main reason why is because we were extremely nervous about a 1.7 server opening and splitting up the community more than it already is. Because since PGM was open source at the very beginning, there's a whole bunch of other people from the community trying to get in on the action. That sounded just really weird. Just trying to make their own PGM server. So at the very beginning, I think there was like 4 different servers that were competing with one another. And now it's only us and Thunderstorm PvP. But Thunderstorm is not really too much of a competition. They're more of like, I don't even know how to describe them. They kind of, it's kind of like a, I don't even know what they are. But you kind of just hop on there if you want to play a few like casual, like fun matches or short matches. But here we have a few more players because we were able to, I guess, get more stuff done. I'm not too sure how everything works out, but it worked out for us in the end. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this guy before he runs back with. Oh wait, no, he's not even running with purple wool, or he has purple wool, but they already have it. So I'm just gonna make sure that they don't get into this one. Or I could. Oh, I knocked him out. Wow, he kind of just got launched there for some reason. Oh, there's another guy that I didn't even notice. That's still illegal though. Oh no, the lava's coming down. Okay, we're good. But that guy is dead though, or he's in the wool room, so I'm gonna help defend a little bit. So after the merge, we had our first big event on the 11th, which was a map testing event. It was actually the first time we hit 50 players, so that was nice. I think at that point, we were hitting like 30-ish. Remember when I complained about how it was hard to like start up, or have a startup, I guess, like start a server or start a community? Well, it was a lot easier when the website came, so we got a whole bunch of players fluctuating from that. So after the 11th, we have to skip all the way to March 25th, which was our first huge update, which brought ranks and dynamic rotations. People are saying good game. I'm guessing somebody's running back. I just saw lime wool in his hand, so that is good game. And as soon as I mentioned dynamic rotations, they rotate.